What's up? My name is Emily a Foxy Fry, and in today's video, we are going to talk about kind of what's been going on with me. I've been promising I'd make this video for a while to kind of explain why I disappear, and it's not because I want to. So if you're interested in that, please stick around. I'm gonna try to make this quick. This is like the third time that I've started this video, and it's a tough video to make because, like I said, I don't want it to be super long. I have a hard time knowing exactly what I can say because of YouTube, their guidelines, and just like it's rough, you guys, because my health has always been I've had health problems my whole life, but nobody ever really truly knows. I mean, we find little things here and there, but then I still have issues, right? So but right now what I'm dealing with, and this is what I wanted to talk about, but if you guys are interested in other things, I would be more than happy to talk about, because I have endometriosis, I had adenomyosis, I have trigeminal neuralgia. I have all of these things, and I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and that's kind of where I wanna go today. Back in 2007, I hurt my back at work, and I actually still have the bulging discs from that. And I was going to a clinic to try and fix that and get that under control. But as we were doing the physical therapy and those things, it was getting worse. It wasn't getting better. And the doctor basically said to me that because nothing he was doing was helping, I had an epidural injection, I had trigger point injections, I had tried all these medications and nothing was helping. And he told me that I needed to see a psychiatrist, and because it was, I don't know, no doctor should ever just discount what you're telling them. Like, basically, he made me feel like what I was feeling was in my head. And so I had kind of given up at that point. And then I found the provider that I see now. She was like one of the first people to actually believe me, and she has helped me in a lot of ways to get my life back. She actually diagnosed me with fibromyalgia, and has really helped me. Before I started seeing her, I could barely walk. I was very, very depressed. It was bad. It was bad. I can honestly say that if she hadn't listened to me when I finally decided to make the appointment with her, I don't know that I would still be sitting here right now. But so, over the years, I just thought that's what it was, that it was fibromyalgia, the endometriosis, the adenomyosis, the trigeminal neuralgia, that I just had these chronic pain issues. But then... So my dad actually had muscular dystrophy. He had FSH, which is facial, scapular, and humerus muscular dystrophy. It's actually so muscular dystrophy is rare, but this is one of the rarest. I won't say that, I guess I can't say like the rarest because I do hear that, but it is a rare form of muscular dystrophy. And I don't know if it's the rarest, but from what I'm learning, nobody really knows anything about it. So my dad didn't actually pass away from that, but as he was getting older, because it's your shoulder muscles, his neck was huge, his legs were really small, and he was not able to get around anymore. He was falling. So yeah, he wasn't getting around very well. He was getting to the point where he was going to need a wheelchair. But then he got like one of the rarest cancer. You guys, it's so crazy. Like, I swear that's just how it works with us, right? It's always the rare things. But he got this form of cancer that only 50 patients ever, like not right now, but have ever known to have ever gotten this cancer. And that's actually how he passed away. And back when he was diagnosed with the muscular dystrophy, the doctor that he was seeing, had us all come in, because with muscular dystrophy, with a parent, if you have a parent that has it, so because my dad had it, I have a 50-50 chance of having it as well. And but if you don't have it, then like my kids, for instance, if I don't have it, my kids are fine. So they have zero chance of getting it. So we went in, and the doctor that my dad was seeing just did a physical exam. And at the time, I'm in my late teens, early 20s. Based on the physical exam, he didn't think that we had it. Now, I drew, at the time I was going through medical assisting school, I could draw blood. I drew all of our blood to have it sent, so that they could do, because the only way to diagnose this type of muscular dystrophy is through like a DNA test, where they take your blood, they have to go down to the DNA, find the markers, all of that. And it's a very, very expensive test. And because of that, and because we weren't really showing signs, unfortunately, our blood was never tested. So all of these years, I've been thinking I don't have muscular dystrophy, and I just have these chronic pain issues. And for whatever reason, just for the last little bit, right? Like the last couple of years, I've noticed that I have become very, very clumsy. Now listen, I've always been clumsy, but I trip a lot. If the floor is uneven at all, I am going to trip. And probably the past year, I'm tripping really hard. And I went into the doctor and I was like, look, I'm going to go down one of these times. And when I do, I'm going to go down hard. And because of that and some other things, I started having some numbness in my face. It was really weird. And so one night I just thought, you know what? I wonder about this muscular dystrophy. And so I looked it up. I looked up the type that my dad had, and I was going through the symptoms, and I have every single symptom that there is. So I went to the eye doctor a few years ago, and he was like, this is really weird. Your eyes, they don't focus, when I'm focused on something, right? Like if I'm watching TV and I'm looking at something, all of a sudden they'll just start to drift. And I've noticed that. And so a lot of times, if you're around me and I'm reading something or concentrating, I'll have one eye open, because what happens is they start to drift and then I see double. And so, but if I close one eye, I'm good. So there was that. And that's one of the symptoms of muscular dystrophy. I also, I went and had my hearing tested, and I have more hearing loss than somebody my age should have. And it's not like I don't do anything to lose my hearing. Like I don't listen to super loud music. I don't, if I've gone shooting, I wear ear protection. So there isn't really a reason for me to have such, not to the point I need hearing aids, but hearing loss. There's a lot of other symptoms, but the tripping, right? Like they said that and in this type of muscular dystrophy, most people won't get diagnosed with it until they're my age, and the only reason that they do is because they start tripping, they start falling, and they, so they go in. And I know I told you guys back in October, I tripped. I don't pick up my feet. I fell, I hit my knees. I landed on my knees really hard on the cement, and I was down for quite a while. It was very painful, but I cannot tell you how many times, when we were at the girls' dance recital in December, I just about tripped and went down these stairs in the parking garage. It was so scary. I don't pick up my feet, which is a huge part of this muscular dystrophy. And so I've been dealing with that. So with the chronic pain, I have good days and bad days. And so it's like I have, I kind of am here and there. When I get sick, I get really sick, and it takes me forever to recover from it. And just, I've been having all of these new weird symptoms. Like I said, my face was going numb, and I went to the doctor, and they ruled out the, stroke, those things. And they were like, we don't know what it is. And so, you know, I made an appointment with the doctor, and I said, look, I said, all of these things are happening. I'm falling, I'm tripping. I think I have muscular dystrophy. My dad had it. I have all of the symptoms. So she ordered some tests. I had an MRI of my brain done. It came back normal. And then I had some other things, and I was like, I've got to get in to see what's going on with my face and everything. But then that provider that I was seeing, she just disappeared. And so I ended up making an appointment with another doctor, and I went in to see him. And you know, we were talking about it, and he was like, look, this, I don't deal with this at all. You know, he's looking it up. He's like, I just have to look this up while we're sitting here talking. So he was actually, which I appreciate. I love this doctor so much that he would actually not pretend that he knew what what he was talking about, that he was comfortable and willing to admit that he needed to look it up as we were sitting there. And so he ordered some other tests. He ordered a blood test to be done, but not the one that I need. The blood test for it, like I said, is extremely expensive. And the insurance doesn't want to pay for it, of course. And then the other thing that he did was order for me to have an EMG, which is like a muscle. It's a muscle biopsy, but also like a muscle conductivity test. And I said, great, let's do it. They actually ended up having an opening for the next day. And I called my mom, and she was like, don't do it. Absolutely not. It's very, very painful, and it won't show this type of muscular dystrophy. They never did it for your dad. Because of how awful it is, and because it's not going to show it. And I was like, well, what do I do? Right? Like, what, I mean, I've been going for all these tests. They're all coming back normal. And she was like, they do. They all come back normal. She's like, the only thing that they can do is the DNA. And I was like, okay, but they won't do the DNA. And she's like, well, you got to call up to the University of Utah, which I had already done. I called up to them not long after I figured out that this was probably what was going on. But when I talked to them, they said, that I basically needed a diagnosis. Whoever I talked to said that. She's like, well, you need to call back. You need to let them know, give him more information about your dad and the doctor that he saw and all these things. And so I did. I called back. Luckily, they were nicer about it, but she was like, you need to have a referral sent over. You need to do all these things. And I was like, okay. And I had told her, I said, this is the type of muscular dystrophy that my dad has or had, and they've ordered this EMG test. Like, should I still do it? And she said, yes. And I okay. So I told that to my mom, and she's like, well, you can do it, but I would not do it. So y'all, the day of the test, I go in, and this was in December. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. And the frustrating thing is, and this is what I mean, I'm really frustrated right now. I'm having a lot of anxiety because I don't know what's going on with my body. I went in there, and I just said, my doctor's ordered this test, but I know that it's not going to show the type of muscular dystrophy that I have. And the lady she goes, it will show anything. If there's anything going on with your muscles, this is going to show it. And I said, well, but it doesn't show this type. And she kind of got huffy with me. And she said, yeah, it will. And I said, but it doesn't, not with this one. And she said, well, do you want to do it or not? And I was like, well, yeah, and so we were sitting there, we were making jokes, but I'm not kidding you guys. So the test started. First, they just start shocking different muscles. Okay, on the outside of your skin, they're shocking different muscles. And it wasn't too bad. We were kind of like laughing and joking. And then she got to my legs and my feet, and it was outrageous. It was so painful. I can't even explain to you how awful it was. And I started crying. And it wasn't just because of the pain. It was because I was frustrated, because they're putting me through all of this pain and this craziness for something that I know isn't going to show what it is. Being not having people listen to me, all of that, and then the pain. So I'm laying there, crying. And then when she was done with her part, the doctor comes in, and he is actually a neurologist that came in to do the second part of this test. And the second part of this test is they take a needle and they actually poke it into your muscles and shock your muscles on the inside. And again, I said to him, you know, I don't know if this is worth it doing all of this because it's not going to show my type of muscular dystrophy. And he said, yeah, it's going to show any of it. And I okay, whatever, right? So I did it, and y'all, it was torture. Like having this needle inside my muscles, shooting electricity through them is nothing. It was absolute torture. Absolute torture. The worst thing ever. I cannot believe how awful this was. And we got done with the one side, and I was barely hanging on at this point, right? And he says, I said, you know, and he said, are you okay? And I said, well, not really. I said, because not only is this incredibly, incredibly painful, but it's also not going to show the type of muscular dystrophy I have. And he was like, yeah, you know, and I said, is anything coming back abnormal? And he said, no. And he said, do you want to do the other side? And I said, no, I'm done. I said, if everything is coming back normal, I said, the whole test came back normal. And he said, yes. And I said, then no, I'm done. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. This is awful. And you guys, like, it's just, that's what it's been. Every time I go to the doctor, they do all these tests, it all comes back normal, but I know that there's something wrong with me. And when I talk to the provider that I've been seeing for the past 10 years that literally saved my life, we were talking about it, and I told her, you know, everything and she said, I have no doubt that, or she said, I have very little doubt that, you know, that it's not this muscular dystrophy. And I said, yeah. I said, you know, I'm 95% sure myself. And she said, no, I have no doubt this is what it is. And honestly, I would say I'm 99% sure, right? Because it's like, I have every single symptom, like literally every single symptom. But at the same time, my whole life, I've been going to doctors for 20 years trying to figure out what's wrong with me, and all the tests have always come back normal, or they've come back abnormal for a second and then not. Like there's another test, it's like a CPK, I don't know, I can't remember exactly what it is, but basically it's like your muscles, when they're breaking down, will release this whatever, and they can test it. And one time they did that test and it did come back abnormal, and they made me come back, you know, several times to take my blood to make sure that it was going back to normal. And so there are a lot of signs and symptoms that say that I have it. And, you know, because I mean, I had a 50-50 chance, and the fact that I have all of these symptoms, my problem right now is trying to find a neurologist that knows anything about it. Currently, I did talk to the University of Utah again about, you know, they've got my referral, they're getting all of my records, and I'm just hoping they're going to make my appointment. I told her, I said, look, I said, you're going to get all of my test results, and they're all going to be normal. I said, but please, please make a note in my chart that the type of muscular dystrophy my dad had was this type, and that's what happens, is all of the tests come back normal. I cannot remember how my mom said that they actually ended up diagnosing my dad, because I remember the doctor, she said that the doctor had said, you know, we could do the EMG, but that's not going to show the type that I think you have. And so they did something else. Unfortunately, the doctor that my dad saw is no longer at the University of Utah. I think he's in Cleveland, at their muscular dystrophy clinic. And so I'm just really, really hoping that they're not going to take a look at my tests and decide that because they're all normal, there's, you know, I'm hoping they'll look at my symptoms and the fact that there is that family history of it. It's very much genetic. Because not that, and you guys, there's nothing they can do for it, right? If it's muscular dystrophy, there's nothing they can do for it. It's not going to kill me. It's going to make life a lot harder as far as like, you know, my muscles will continue to die. But just having that diagnosis, knowing that I'm not crazy, being able to plan for certain things is good. Although I'm not going to lie, like the thing that's been scary for me lately is the thought that if I do have it, that my daughters may have it. But it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it now, you know? But I've been treated so poorly by the medical community. And if you guys are interested in hearing more about that, like I said, I would be happy to talk more about that. I've been treated just awful by the medical community for the past 20 years. I need to get out of Utah. The cold weather is the worst. But I've really been struggling. I've been having a lot of really horrible symptoms recently, and also just being able to know that the things that I have going on, you know, not being able to breathe sometimes, or the numbness in my face, like knowing that there's a reason for that stuff, so that I don't panic and worry that it's something else, you know, like just knowing that what's going on is what happens with what I have. Do you know, if that makes any sense, because I do have a lot of anxiety around my health. I always have, because it just seems like there's always something, right? So being able to know that, you know, when I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and then I was able to be like, okay, well, you know, things got, so my mental health got a lot better for quite a while. Just because it was like, well, that's what it is. That's what it is. And now that I'm having all these like new other weird things that don't really make sense for fibromyalgia, I'm like, okay, like, so the, you know, the panic and my mental health just is not great right now. But so I just wanted to let you guys know that that's what's happening. I'm really, really struggling right now. A lot of days I don't even get dressed. I'm really trying my best. I want to stay motivated. I love doing these videos. I've always, you know, I started doing like lives on Facebook and makeup, and I absolutely love it. And it really keeps me going. And so the lives have been really hard on Facebook. That's why I kind of transferred over to YouTube. I'm hoping that I can get this going. I know with YouTube, the consistency is the key. And so my new plan is to make, when I feel good enough to put my makeup on, do my hair, do all of that, is to just film several videos in a row. So if you guys see, you know, I'll be posting videos. I have at least 3 videos I'm going to film tonight. So I'll look exactly the same. And that's why, is because I feel good today. Like today is actually a good day. And so I'm going to film so that I have, you know, so that when I don't feel good, I'll have videos to post. And I have a lot of plans for videos, but yeah, it's been rough the last 6 months, but I have an appointment with a neurologist at the end of this month. I'll be honest, I'm not hopeful that he's gonna, it's just a regular neurologist that probably has no idea about any of this. I'm actually trying to decide if I should keep the appointment or cancel it, just because the neurologist that I saw for that test had no clue about this type of muscular dystrophy. But at the same time, I'm not positive I'm going to get an appointment at the University of Utah. And so I'm really not sure what to do or how to continue. If you guys, if any of you have any ideas, if you've dealt with anything like this or can guide me in any way, I would be happy for, you know, any kind of help that I can get, or just, you know, just your thoughts, good thoughts, prayers, all of that. It just really, really means the world to me. I need to go get the girls, and this has been going on for a long time. But like I said, if you guys want to hear more about my health journey, there's so much. There's so much. I've had 18 surgeries, like I said, endometriosis, adenomyosis, how I've been treated, all of that. If you're interested in that, I'd be happy to make those videos. I also still want to make my ADHD video. So yeah, I hope you guys will stick around. I'm gonna sprinkle, it's gonna be like, you guys, I have ADHD, so I have a feeling my videos are gonna be all over the place, but I hope that you guys will stick around and enjoy them. You know, watch the videos you like, and don't watch, I guess, the videos you don't like, and we'll just see how this goes. But I do have some unboxing videos I'm gonna film tonight, so you guys just let me know what you're interested in seeing, and we're gonna figure out what this channel is gonna be, but I really want to be able to consistently post at least 2 videos a week, just to you know, it's, like I said, doing this has been really good for me and my mental health, especially right now where I don't always feel good. This is something that I can do without having to do a whole lot, if that makes sense. So I appreciate all of you so much. Please like this video if you would. It means the absolute world to me. Leave a comment. Like I said, let me know, you know, if you have any advice, or if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. Share this video, seriously, because I could use all the help I can get with figuring out how to get diagnosed and all of those things. And also subscribe. Once we hit 100 subscribers, I'm gonna do a big giveaway. And yeah, I'm gonna go get the girls, but I hope you have an amazing rest of your morning or evening or night or afternoon or whatever it is, wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.